I wrote a fucking essay on why this movie is just the
best
worst.
Ladies and gentlemen and everything in between, welcome to D- Podcast, courtesy of Circle/TV. I am Chris.
I'm John.
And I'm Chelsea.
Glad we figured out who's going to say what when.
It's been a while, folks.
We don't know who we are anymore.
It's been a hot minute. Things have happened, and now we're back with, we just needed the time to process this movie.
Yeah, if you haven't noticed, we haven't posted for a little while, and that's because this movie sent me into a complete psychotic break, and I couldn't stand the idea of actually putting any attention towards this movie on the internet.
And that's not entirely untrue.
But here we are, and if we're gonna do it, we're gonna do it right.
Here we are. Oh boy.
And boy, let me just.
Oh boy.
I don't know if you can see it. I don't know if you can see
It's already
it
off the rail.
on the camera, but this is how much I had to write about what I feel about this.
All of you watching on the YouTubes will notice John took a lot of notes. We watched Love on a Leash, for those who can't read the title of this episode. And boy, oh boy, I don't even know where to begin. I do have... Well, I'm one of those stupid fucks that actually bought a DVD also. We found it randomly like a year ago, like on
Amazon Prime. Well, I can tell you how we found it. We were just searching... I don't remember.
We were searching Neil Breen movies. We were looking for Fateful Findings.
Yeah, we were looking for Fateful Findings, and then as a related movie, this came up. And I love really shitty modern romantic comedies. That's one of my favorite genres of shit movies. I think they're fantastic. And this came up, and I was like, "Oh, this sounds ridiculous.
You hit
we
the
have to watch
fucking jackpot."
Absolutely.
I had no idea at the time.
No, we didn't either because. I don't remember what the Amazon I didn't write that down, what the Amazon description for this was, but the IMDb description is I'll read this one and then I'll read the back of the DVD. Well, I won't read all of it because the back of the DVD, again, for anyone watching, it's like the entire back of the DVD is a description of this movie, and I don't think it even tells you anything about it. IMDb says, love takes a furry twist in this slice of romantic comedy. A young woman falls for a stray dog with a secret. By night, it becomes a man. Follow the journey of the golden retriever and the friend who gives him a home.
Let me stop you right there.
Yeah.
I know you guys are going to disagree. That is the most accurate description of this movie that I've ever heard, and here's why. It literally says, and you know this is a tangent that I'm going to go on in a minute, but it says she falls in love with a dog that becomes a man by night, not the other way around.
Right.
That is the most important take from this.
Which, as we find out in this slew of horseshit. Again, you've had plenty of time, everybody, to watch this movie. So we're just gonna jump all over the place because nothing makes sense anyway. But yeah, so we do find out that it's a dog who can be a man by night, but as you said, he doesn't really discover he has that power till she basically says "I love you" to the dog, like "I'm in love with you," which.
But also, is it that he changes by the night because later in the movie the moon is covered and he doesn't change?
First it was night, then later they say something, when the sun is out, then I'm a dog.
Okay, but we're getting ahead of ourselves. Let's explain the lore. Listen, I know this is hard to unpack, but let's try to explain the lore that surrounds this curse.
You want to explain the lore?
Spell.
What the fuck was the voice in the pond?
That's what I'm saying. So
what is that?
The first scene, let's just start from the beginning. The first thing you see is just what you see because there's nothing to hear. So you just see.
Yes, for the record, there is credited, again, a different name on the back of the DVD than the composer that's credited in the film in the opening credits, but there is zero music in this. I'll take that back. There's one piece of music in the entire movie, and it's Bowie's China Girl, and I don't know how they got that's their budget must have been to like license that song.
No, they just did it.
They just did it. You'll never see
the woman who directed it was Chinese, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Maybe she's the China Girl. I never put this together until now, but that's probably how they got it.
But yeah,
So-
there's no score, even though as a composer credit, there's no music.
So the
You
beginning-
watch the movie and it's just silent.
The first minute of the movie is just a dog rolling around, and you're like, what the fuck? And I mean,
Well, if you're me, you're like, is my sound on my
No,
TV?
no,
a
Because
lot of people had that same.
Yeah, the first time we watched this on Prime, we're like, I turned the volume up all the way. I'm
Yeah.
like, am I missing something?
Yeah.
and then the dog talks like, oh shit, and you gotta turn it.
Where are the
down.
ladies at?
Yeah.
That's the first thing. That's
the opening
first
line
thing
of the
you
movie.
hear. That's
Where are the
first thing you hear.
ladies at?
So you're already confused. He runs over to the
Yeah,
pond.
like, why is the dog looking for
the
women?
pond says, "Find a girl." By the way, these impressions are spot on. I don't know
that
if
was
you guys
pretty good,
remember, but
actually.
it was pretty
Yes,
good.
You've been
Okay,
practicing.
so thank you.
Were you the voice of the pond? Because you could have.
I was actually. It's why I like this movie so much. Please like this movie.
Like my movie.
So he evidently was a piece of shit, playboy cheater, aka a man. You know, just a man.
Yeah.
And then she
a hot man.
Oh yes, he
Okay.
wants us to know. I was better looking than you, and he's not gay.
Yeah, which
very
also-
important to know in the first 5 minutes of the movie.
Another thing to note about this is all of the dialogue you hear like as the dog, that voice,
That internal monologue.
is an internal monologue. Nobody can hear him. You just hear the dog talking to himself.
And
Why?
the-
I don't know.
This is not Eric Roberts as a talking cat. Well, it actually kind of is, but in a different way.
And the internal monologue voice is not the voice of the guy.
It is not, and that's a whole other thing we'll
Yep,
have to get to
we'll
later.
get to
Yeah,
that.
that'll be it.
But that might be a
Let's
separate
just,
fucking
let's just
episode
break
talking
this
about
down. Okay,
the voice
so
of Alvin Flang.
so he's got it. So he has to impress, or no, he has to fall in love with the woman, and it has to
And
be
they have to
true
love.
love.
They have to love him back.
True
for
love,
who
so that-
he is.
Yeah, for
Which
who
makes
he
sense
is.
because you're a dog. Like, so you're expecting that a woman is just gonna fall in love, like madly, like romantically in love with the dog. Then he can become a person. If they fell in love with the dog, they're probably not into people.
Yeah.
Well, as we find out,
Fair.
that might be the case.
Exactly. Yeah, right.
So, like at the beginning of
A lot
it,
of
okay,
clues.
so that's how they set it up. The dog is horny. The dog is really horny.
It's
The
a
dog
very horny dog.
wants to fuck literally everything and insults other men.
Including the weird fucking the like 10-year-old girls playing soccer that they like do a shot of and they're what the fuck does he say? Hold on, let me see.
I don't
what-
even remember that part, and I've seen this movie like
I don't
28
either.
times.
He fucking come on.
Brian saw yet another
No,
cut of this
he-
movie that we haven't seen.
Quite possible.
He goes up to the like 10-year-old girls and he's like following them and he's just like checking them out and I was like what the fuck is this movie? What?
I don't remember that.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, and like we discussed
In the
earlier,
park.
I've seen this movie so many times, but I feel like I don't know if it's like a weird like reactionary PTSD thing where I just kind of
fair.
my brain just like shuts out like and blocks like certain chunks of the movie and then I watch it again I'm like I don't remember that happening
Yeah,
but I know I've seen it.
He
like,
goes like, "Ooh, girls" or something like that and I'm like, "Ooh, what? the fuck?"
Well, there's a lot of that goes on. So he finds a girl who is
There's a
praying in the
Yeah,
park.
praying for
God,
a
let me
for a-
find a good man, please. She's the one. Like,
yeah, of all the other women you were trying like,
See, I thought at
it's
first that he was talking about the African American woman
Paula.
and saying
Right.
Her name is Paula, and she
Paula.
is
I didn't even remember.
Purple Paula because everything that she
Oh,
wears
okay.
is pink and purple.
Nice.
Pink and purple Paula. Yep, that's her name.
I thought he
Till
was
later.
talking about her when they were sitting on the
probably was.
the pond/oceanside beachfront.
Yeah, because they're in bathing suit. They're in a fucking park. And with like a man-made pond in the middle, but like at the same time, like you said, yeah, the
They're
two friends
playing the sounds of ocean waves crashing in the background for
That's
some fucking reason.
Watching it again today, that's a reoccurring theme we found where
the sounds don't.
The sound design
match
is
up with
just
Where is
wrong.
where is this? I never even looked.
I don't know. I think it's supposed to be California.
Florida. It's got to be Florida. There's no
I
other
don't even
They
know.
never say. So
Yeah.
I don't know. They don't even like reference any like specific like landmarks or like.
She drives a
general-
Volkswagen Bug, so it's probably Florida or probably California. Sorry.
Yeah.
It could go either way. I used to have a Volkswagen Bug.
Oh.
And I used to live in Florida.
That makes a lot of sense. But
Checks out.
I was not in this movie.
okay, the graphics for the water pond.
Outstanding.
Wow.
Outstanding.
Wow. I don't even know. I don't know what I wanted to say about it. I just thought I should mention
Just
it.
like the worst like entry level graphics pack you could buy for.
It seems like you do it on your phone, and you just like get there.
It's,
You can
it's
get
like
better
it's,
Snapchat
it's
filter
literally
for a pond.
Yeah, I was gonna
Yeah.
say like a Snapchat filter or just a sticker that you could find on Instagram stories. Like
You could probably find better ones than that
Just
now
sparklies.
than the sparkles that they use for. Look, it's a magical pond. Which again, I'm guessing only the dog can see that because why is it there for anybody?
yeah.
Oh God, just.
Oh, quick question. And I
Yeah.
like to ask this with pretty much every movie that we review, but who is this for?
I was thinking
Who
the same
is
thing.
this for?
I
These
think
are all great questions.
it was for horny women and
Horny women who like
who can't find the right guy.
dogs?
Who,
So
they-
there's
Or
so just from loneliness and close proximity, start to kind of fall in
Yeah.
love with their dogs and think that wow, if you were a man,
See?
this would be
Yeah.
perfect.
I think it's like-
everybody's been putting on the crazy cat women all this fucking time. I just want to put it out there right now.
This is the first
dog
instance
hose.
of a
Yeah.
crazy
First,
dog.
no,
lady.
I don't think it's the first. I think this is based on something that we just didn't know about before. There is an underground ring of women.
I don't think it's
Secretly
that
know what's
underground
impossible.
anymore in 2020. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, you guys were at the parade in Pittsburgh. Like, you
Oh,
know,
yeah,
the
the
furry-
furry convention.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know.
yeah.
We were there. It was
Yeah,
fun.
this is okay. So this is a very specific sliver of the furry community.
yeah.
Well, they literally say on the IMDb description it's a furry tail. Like, come on, they throw.
Tail.
They
Yeah.
wow. Fuck.
Yeah, there's a also on the back of this DVD, like there's at the top, it's a quick little quote description, but it's a quote attributed to nobody. It's just like somebody like someone said
That's
that this
nice.
is, and it has fucking nothing. It's
My mother said this was a wonderful movie. Oh, that's not actually. She was an Asian lady, so it was probably not a good. I don't know
Well,
why.
you know, that's okay.
but
but
the quote, it says the princess and the frog meet Pinocchio.
what? Okay,
What is-
that's not the analogy I would have used at all. I would have
No,
used
but
Beauty
it's
and the
there.
Beast because that's it. Beauty and the Beast is loosely pretty much the same storyline.
It's like-
He was turned into a terrible beast because like a dog. Turned into a terrible beast because he was an asshole and that old lady cursed him.
Beauty,
Yeah.
Beauty and the Bestiality. That's
Yeah,
what
yeah.
this is what this is.
That is the
Yes.
that's what this movie should have been called.
So anyway, the girl finds the dog. The dog follows her home or whatever and is like,
Yeah, literally just follows her.
and she lets it in
She's
her
like,
house.
cool, you're my dog now.
And there's a lot of really wonderful ADR that happens when she's giving it a bath.
This whole movie,
Especially-
okay. This again, the audio. There's so this whole.
You would think with no music, it would be so easy to do leveling of your audio.
Yeah.
I could literally put it in my computer and just hit
The part.
gain level -3 decibels, and it will do all of it.
Yeah, but
And they did none of
instead- And they're like, yeah, this movie's just. We could talk for 4 hours just about the audio issues with it. So
But the
no,
part where
no
she's
score.
washing the dog,
The-
and it's like a fast motion, like, and I think there's actually the sound effect of like fast forward where it's like, well, she's washing the dog, and then she goes, okay, now you're clean, and it's like,
Yeah, it's just- yeah.
it's eardrum.
Yes, it's all like
bursting,
yeah. It's for no reason. It's super. There's multiple scenes in it where like for no reason it's super sped up. There's a couple moments where it's like super slow mo for no reason either. Then it's in there for like a few seconds and then that's it. But yeah, the audio is like it's all ADR, and as you just pointed out, it's just super high gain, just like overwhelming
crazy.
for no reason. Also, the dog during the whole washing makes a lot of like very sexual
Oh, yeah, I
moans
forgot
while it's
about
being
that.
washed. Which is just he's like oh
so
like
weird.
yeah, he's like oh and then okay you're ready like it's so fucked up.
Okay, now you can go.
And
That's
all
the
of this-
actual line.
Yeah.
That's what she
Yes,
said.
and all this is in the first 5 minutes of the movie. Like it's just
it's wild.
It's at the fucking very beginning.
It's absolutely
And-
wild.
and it doesn't get better.
Yeah,
Everything else
I
gets
feel like
way-
they ADR'd so much of the movie, and they just they
didn't even
even
try.
they didn't even like pick like, hey, here's what we're gonna ADR for this scene. I feel like he was just like in a booth riffing, talking shit about
that's
this girl.
the
the
dog-
greatest part.
Oh,
That's
the
the
dog,
greatest
yes.
part.
A lot of times it's even just the ADR for like for her was it her Lisa is the character's name.
Of course her name is Lisa.
Of course her name is Lisa.
Of
Just
course her name is Lisa.
call back to the room. So but like yeah, the ADR is again not even like properly mixed by a long shot, but it's ADR like full sentences and monologues when her mouth is just
That's the best.
not moving
When they're walking
at
by,
all.
when they're walking
It
by,
was-
it's
the
so
dress,
funny.
right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh my god, that dress is so beautiful. And then he's like, oh yeah, look, it's green. And then she says, I can't afford that. Literally, her mouth never moves.
Yeah.
And
I
then
don't
she
think
goes,
once in that
unless
entire
you're
movie.
buying. And then he goes, I'd rather kill myself.
The dog, which by the way, the
dog
the
seems
dog is the
self-aware.
dog. Yeah, the dog 100% seems self-aware for his internal monologue, which again is voice acted by a completely different actor than the human version of the dog later. Which again in the movie, the dog / human counterpart is named Prince, which is what she names him. But again, listening to the dog's internal monologue, he names himself Alvin
Flang.
Which
Now,
up until because this movie came out in 2010. The DVD says 2010. It's 2010, 2011, depending on where it was released. And up until 2 months ago, nobody knew, because they're not credited in the credits. They're not on the DVD. No one had any idea who the guy was who did the voice of Alvin Flang until about 2 months ago.
Now,
but that's a whole other thing we'll have to get into later.
This was going to be my magnum opus. This was my call to life. Like, I wanted to find this guy.
9 months just
so bad.
scouring the internet trying to figure out who the fuck this guy was.
And you know what? I'm happy for Ralph, because if anything, he deserves to know Alvin Flang. Even though this is my favorite movie, I'm going to let Ralph.
Yeah, Ralph the
That's
Movie
fine.
Maker. Look him up on YouTube. He found the voice actor and interviewed him and got a lot of information about the making of this movie.
But the thing that I want to point out first is that I honestly thought, because this is because there is such a language barrier between the director and the people that were in the movie, that perhaps, just perhaps, this guy was riffing as we thought, and that he was self-aware and he thought this was a crappy project and was just going ham, and it was it's absolutely hilarious. But according to the actor, this is the actual script.
Like, it's
or
the
at
script,
least loosely it is.
Because he talks about how she's in the room with him, like critiquing his like inflections on like every line. No, you're supposed to say it like this. It makes it sound wildly unnatural. And he's like, that's not how English is spoken. And she's all, no, say it like this.
It's a non-native speaker telling a native speaker how
they speak their native language.
And the craziest part is that she wrote so many things into the script, which we'll get to in a minute, that this main character, she makes her intentionally unlikable. She makes the protagonist of this movie intentionally unlikable so that she can dunk on her for being a virgin. She puts acne on her face because she's not getting laid. This is true. So you just automatically hate the main character the whole time.
Yeah, I didn't even know about the whole green thing until you guys told me about that.
Yeah, in that same interview, he discusses how he asked the director what's up with all the green, and it was something to the effect of like, what in like Chinese cultures, it's like green is kind of representative of like repressed sexual desire. So basically, she wears green because she's fucking horny all the time,
and that's why she has acne, because she doesn't get laid.
Which is another thing that the director assumes. Somehow, I don't know, show your work. Okay. But apparently, they like.
So the Emerald City in Wizard of Oz was just horny town, fucking USA.
Absolutely.
Okay, this makes sense.
Yeah, it all checks out. So anyway, so she gets this dog. The dog goes back to the pond and is like, "This is fucking bullshit. I still don't want to be a dog anymore." No, you must fall in love. So
nice.
He goes.
10 out of 10.
Yeah, perfect. Nailed it.
Thank you. Three-Legged Bear Productions. Thank you. So he goes back, and she starts talking about how she can't. She's trying to. All right, hold on. Let me back up. She works in a clothing store. She's a little like sales associate at a clothing store. She's very meek and mild, like just like very unassuming young woman. Everybody is trying to fuck her violently. It's really disturbing for different reasons. And every shot of her in the clothing store is like she's
oh, that's my favorite scene.
Oh yeah, where the owner,
entire movie.
which I believe we find out is the owner of like a chain of retail store she works at, is talking to her while she's on the floor, like on the sales floor, and it's like, hey. And then just parts clothes in a rack to like
no reason
through the
There's
rack.
No reason for that to happen.
And then like as they're talking, like sentence by sentence, they like move one piece.
Yes, they just slide a little bit to the right and a little bit.
It's so you have to rewatch it. If you haven't watched it, watch that scene. I should have timestamped it. It's fucking raw and beautiful. It's so fucking stupid.
But there is a theme there. There's a theme, like, because then there's that. And then the second guy, because she knows she's dating two of them at the same time, which we'll get to what Alvin Flang said about the two guys in a minute. But the second guy, when he comes in, is looking at her through the fucking shoes. He's like looking through he's looking through the archway of the shoes, like, yes. And I'm just like, what the fuck is going on? Like, Which
there's two ways to look at it. One is, okay, so again, if they were harping on like the theme of like they could turn this into men or dogs kind of thing. So like all the dudes in this movie are inherently creepy. And
wow, I never even thought about that.
And then
before.
there's the one she falls in love with is literally a dog. Like they could have done that, which they did not do. That would have been stupid, but it would have like kind of made sense for like, oh, we have this theme. But on the one hand, it's like, okay, all these guys are creepy as shit looking through everything at her. But then when you also realize after, again, doing too much research into this movie that we did, is we know that all of those like 90% of the shots were just stolen shots. They weren't allowed to be there.
They were not allowed to be in that clothing store.
That's why like you see a lot of
secretly filming.
a lot of the angles are like all the angles like all fucked up and like Dutch angles and like on the ground shooting up.
Love
or like
Dutch
you
angles.
see it just like shaky and they're running around chasing the actors like because they fucking were because they didn't have coverage because they're like we can't look like we're shooting a fucking movie in here.
And the only guy who wasn't like rapey or overbearing or an asshole was a guy who quote unquote tasted Japanesey and
that's exactly what we were gonna say.
was a homosexual. So
Again, probably I believe put in the script for him to read that the dog Alvin Flang, like she holds up 2 pictures of the guy she's dating and says, "Who do you think I should pick?" And then he chews both of them up like he's gonna eat both pictures and says, "One of these tastes Japanesey."
Yeah.
Like that's in the script.
That's.
I think she doesn't like Japanese people. I think
Probably
this is
not.
the whole China-Japan thing, and she's just trying to like get a
That's
little
insane.
deep in it.
It's just
That's
her
insane. It's
racist
absolutely
propaganda.
crazy.
Yeah.
And so you got the 2 guys, right? You got the one creepy guy who was looking through the shoes, and you got the other guy who was not as creepy, I guess, who was like doing the clothes thing, which I know you really love and enjoy.
It's the
So
best, it's the best.
the one guy brings her to his house to meet his mom.
Well,
who
I think
is-
she brings the mom on to like I think the restaurant, isn't that where they start? Like, are they on a date somewhere, or is
No.
that just their house?
That's
or
their
the,
house.
Or the mother's
She goes
house?
over to the house. Remember when they're having tea and all that
Yeah.
bullshit?
Okay, it's
Yeah,
the
that's their house. So she comes over to the house, and the mom is like stage 10 creepy, weird, I don't know, Harry Potter character mom. I don't even know how to explain her. But essentially, she's like, oh, we weigh ourselves every day, and we eat this amount of
twice
food.
a day.
And oh, you don't weigh yourself.
he
How
likes-
do you know how much food
And he likes
eat?
to mention to Lisa how my mother was a gynecologist, and she keeps us on a strict diet. Like those 2 things aren't
Yeah, it was
correlated
weird.
at all. And why? And
Unless that diet is just pineapple juice, then fucking I don't really know what the deal is. But yeah, I was waiting the relationship between the guy and his mother. I was waiting
so
for her to
creepy.
just pop her titty out and he's gonna suck on her or something. I was
Yeah.
like, what the fuck is going on here?
super
And
weird.
that's what brings me back to the original point of who the fuck was this for? Like,
Yeah, well,
there are
it's-
so many weird like eccentricities that children would never understand, but it's like I don't know. It's just
Yeah, I don't think
listen.
it was a kids movie. I think
I
it
hope
was
not.
trying to be like a rom-com for
Okay, well,
mid-20s women.
I
That's
was
what
gonna
I
say. Well, it doesn't say it's rated at all, so I don't know what it's for.
Well, why would it be? Who's gonna rate it?
Exactly.
They'd have to watch the
They'd
whole
have to
thing.
watch the movie, and no one knows it exists. Really.
Yeah.
I know.
But yeah, again, we've already discussed like 3 or 4 like wild stories and scenarios and story arcs that like nothing gets. There's like 23 different fucking stories and narratives in this that just happen for like 5 minutes out of the movie, and then we just move on to some other weird shit.
Because this movie is such a mess, I was honestly trying to like bring it back to a chronological thing so we could go by it piece by piece. But
There's no
too
point.
fucking much. Like,
Yeah.
there are so many stories, and the weird thing is they're not actually happening in real time, like against each other. They're happening consecutively. There are 1,000 different stories that go on back to back to back to back, and you're just like,
Yeah.
what the fuck am I? Oh my god, I forgot this happened. Like, how many times did we say that today? We watched it again, and I'm like, oh my god, this fucking scene. I forgot this fucking happened.
Yeah,
like,
there's no point trying to talk about like what was this movie about, because again, there's so much shit that happens. We haven't gotten into one of her other coworkers is creepy and just kind of like creepily like tries to like touch her on the sales floor, and it's like, oh, I'm not gonna hurt you. Oh, you got a bee on you or something like. He says,
Oh yeah.
he starts with that. That same guy later, like 10 minutes later in the movie, which could be anywhere between the next day and 4 months from now.
oh, that's a
because-
whole other thing.
because there's no other thing. Like tries to like doesn't even try, breaks into her house, which it seemed like the door was just wide open maybe
Yeah.
at night. I don't even know how that.
Good idea.
Comes in hammered and I guess tries to rape her. She yells out to the dog, who is somewhere on the street out at night, just like wandering the streets.
doing?
Hears her, runs in, and the most vicious Labrador of all time like chases
It's a
him
golden
off.
retriever.
Golden
It's a golden
retriever.
retriever.
Sorry, golden retriever. My fault. Fights him off, and he leaves. And then she's so depressed, while it's simultaneously as we started discussing, which we need to get into more. The store owner that goes on a date with her, we find out is gay. She's sad and crying about him being gay, and then also now sad, of course, about the attempted rape, and decides immediately after, like seconds after that happens, I'm gonna just eat a bunch of pills and try to kill myself. Also, what are these pills and where do they come from?
They're
and what are they
Mentos.
for?
Those are Mentos.
Oh, they
Those
were,
were not
yeah,
pills.
they're 100%
They were
Mentos.
Tums.
Like,
They were something.
in the real world, they're Mentos.
Yeah.
I don't know what they are in this world.
What made me feel a little bit better about that whole scene was at least the guy who was like trying to rape her. Okay, I'm defending the rape guy, but he looked super uncomfortable with the scene. Like,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
like his like, I'm gonna
I
get shit.
don't
Like, it's
know.
like when you're like when you're fucking with kids and like they have their legs are fucking this big. Okay, their legs are a foot, and you're fucking 6 feet tall and you're running after them. They got no fucking chance, and you're like, oh, I'm gonna get you. You're going like a fifth of the pace that you could.
Yeah.
But kids are fucking stupid. They don't know.
They're gonna trip and fall by themselves.
Kids
You don't have to
no
run
fucking
over and
idea.
push them
Yeah,
anyway.
exactly. So you have to do the whole like backpedal thing.
At
so that
Kids
was
Getting
nice.
Hurt on Instagram. Good account. You should follow. For sure.
Highly recommended.
Highly recommend.
I don't
But
know
yeah,
why I
he was
wrote
just
this.
like- he was, "Ugh."
I don't know why I wrote this, but why the fuck were her bagels broken into quarters rather than halves?
I did not notice that, but you
don't
are
think
looking
I
at some
noticed that.
serial killer level shit. Like,
That's serial killer level shit. Who the fuck breaks their
So-
bagels into quarters?
okay, because you noticed it, how were they? Did she cut the whole bagel into this, or did she cut it in half first and then?
Dude, I don't remember, but I remember being upset. So she cuts the bagel into quarters, and then she tries feeding one of the. She puts two of the quarters together, and then tries feeding it to the dog. And what does she say? Fuck! I just watched this. How do I not know?
Why aren't you eating?
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Well, yeah. No, the shitty ADR of it's again mixed horribly. It's like, why aren't you eating? And then then as the dog, Alvin Flang or Prince, depending on who you ask, walks over and starts eating and saying, "Oh, you want dog food?" and laughs the laugh of someone whose brain has snapped from reality. Or as you pointed out, John, it's legit just her doing a Tommy Wiseau laugh impression.
Yeah, it's like
It's the weirdest,
hysterical.
fakest, stupidest laugh. Ugh.
But it goes on for a very long time.
Uncomfortably.
I think it becomes a real laugh at some point
It might.
because she just loses it.
Yeah, she's completely like it's like she realized the movie she's making.
Yeah.
And, and
this
just
is
went for
actually
it.
when, and I wrote it down. I asked myself, so is this just gonna be the next 45 minutes? Is this just what they're gonna do this whole time?
just her laughing and trying to feed the dog
And the answer is
people food.
kinda. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, okay. The main takeaway from this scene is the fact that they have started fucking at this point.
Yeah.
She is
Yeah.
getting regularly dog dick down. It's
But
happening
when he's a person, when
he's a
human.
person, but
Which-
he's also a dog. So let's
As far
just
as
put
we
that.
know.
Let's just
Yeah.
put
As
that
far
in there.
they didn't put that in. Again,
Yeah.
this isn't rated.
Little
so,
afternoon delight is a possibility, but yeah. And then she starts dressing him up as a dog while he's human, which is like
Extra
do you
weird. Yeah.
Want a person?
Puts a collar on him, like in a leash. They start laughing and giggling. They have a nice little fun. Yeah.
Oh,
yes.
God.
Oh, she does the weirdest. Just fucking just.
She
like,
just doesn't look like a person that should ever do that.
no.
She's
and-
really into it though.
And does like this weird, like just sexual, like kink photo shoot with him as a person with the leash. And then as we find out later in the movie, saves all those photos and puts it in a goddamn photo album to like look back at the memories. Oh, remember when I put a leash on you?
Yeah.
And
The
we just
best
did
part,
thing?"
the best part about the photo album is that there's those pictures, and then she turns a page, and then it's just pictures of the dog.
I don't remember
There's-
that.
Oh my god!
Again, I apologize to anybody. Like, you have to have already watched this movie because we just are realizing there's so fucking much to talk about. And everything we've talked about so far is probably like 30 minutes into the movie, and we've neglected some shit. Fuck, there's just so much. But yeah,
so,
what
okay,
topic
so-
do we want to discuss?
Okay,
next with
let's
it?
talk about Rita. So
Is that
she,
the gypsy?
Yes.
Yeah,
the-
okay,
the-
so-
the-
Of
the
course,
gypsy
there's
lady.
a gypsy woman in
Yeah,
the movie.
so-
I don't mean that
Lisa's-
offensively. That is not an offensive
Is
representation.
gypsy?
She literally
I
is.
don't know.
I
just a
forgot. Is
gypsy.
gypsy not a good word to say?
I don't know,
It's
but
probably not.
Let me know.
again, this is the same movie that wrote in the script. This picture tastes Japanesey.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
it's.
I think I get
you
a
know.
little break on this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you do.
Yeah.
The movie's problematic. It's not you. It's the movie. So
It's definitely a movie. Yeah, so this is Lisa's mother's friend or maybe caretaker. We don't actually ever really find. I was trying to figure that out with you when we watched it again today. Like,
It's her caretaker, for sure.
Who is she? They never say. You just kind of have to figure it out.
I think that's part of the racist representation of her as a person is that she's living with her mom as a caretaker or some kind of 90 Day Fiance type. It's
but
that kind of thing.
But then she also like books flights for her because whenever then they also, when they don't know about Prince, the mother and I guess we'll call her the caretaker, Rita, go to like take her out to looks like a Mexican restaurant or something. And
that scene.
Which again, he can only because again he can only
Yes.
be a person at night, so she only gets to see him as a human at night. So she gets off work, it's at night, and Rita just kind of like goes to visit her at work, leaves sneakily or whatever, and then hides out in the parking lot to like bum rush and be like, "Hey, surprise, we're taking you out." Takes you to this fucking restaurant where you find out that like her and her mom set up a thing where like paid these patrons of this restaurant. First of all, there's a dance floor in the middle of this restaurant where everyone's dancing, and pays a bunch of guys to like dance with her to try to like hook her up with someone. Like, I don't understand the logic of anybody in this movie.
No,
And the guys cared way too much to have her dance with them because they already got their money. They don't care. Like, why would they give a fuck?
Also, what amount of
I
money
would say-
is an okay amount to say,
okay.
yes, I'll do this for you?
Oh, I would just be like, oh, okay, yes, I'll take $50, and then I put it in my
I'm
pocket,
leaving.
and I'll go get drinks at some other place because
Exactly.
there's no reason for me to.
God,
associate
I
with.
guess her mom's rich. Like, I guess that's something that we should take away from this, especially when we get to the art scene later in the
her
beginning
mom
of the movie.
is
Right.
not rich. There's no
she
way.
doesn't look rich.
She-
She's the gray character of the movie, by the way. If we're going by color coding, she's
Which
the gray
everyone
one.
in this movie is
She
color
has
coded.
been sucking smog out of California. What are those fucking stacks called? The fucking stacks that come out of industrial buildings.
Smokestacks?
Smoke. She has been sucking smog out of smokestacks in California. A lot of S's there. Struggle with them. But, and her fucking voice and her fucking coughing. Is she dying in the one scene or no? Like, what is
You
her
mean like
ailment?
toward the end when they're all sitting on the bed? That one?
Promise
Is that later
me
in the
you
movie?
will.
That's
remember.
Yeah, that part. Yeah, there is a scene later where the whole movie, she like again, like you said, it just sounds like she's just hacking up a fucking lung and just.
I thought she was
she's got a
dying over the
cane.
phone.
Yeah,
And I was like, oh, she's got lung cancer. Like, that was my first, because that's a classic.
She's
Rich
got,
people get lung cancer.
She's got
Rich
the cane.
people do not get.
But then, yeah, later in the movie, like after. Again,
Don't have
after Prince is out of the picture, which we'll get to in a second. It's like she's at her, like her mom's in bed, looks like she's dying. Rita is sitting on the bed with her, which I also noticed this time. This last time we watched it, is there's the only picture I saw in that room is above the mother's bed, and it's a picture of her and Rita with like their arms around each other, looking like real close. And then she's laying in bed, and Rita's in bed with her, kind of with her arm around her while she's dying, and then the daughter's just standing there.
Oh, they're lesbian.
Talk to her. So that's kind of what I
Well,
got out of it.
her mom kind of gives off that vibe. It could be.
Yeah, but then but she also said
reminds me
she
of-
had a little like 2-sentence monologue with the daughter after the hiring the dancers to dance, or the strangers to dance with the thing. Something about how, oh, growing up, you didn't have a father and you just saw all this, just rotating men in and out of your life. I'm like, okay, so
Okay.
she ran
But
through
who
she
did
ran
she
through
remind
all
you
the
of?
dudes.
She reminded me of. I don't know if you watch Always Sunny, but
Oh,
fucking
duh. Max mom.
Max mom
Yeah.
mixed with Charlie's mom now. Like, it's like this crazy amalgamation. Like, if they,
And I'm sure they did.
And,
so
yeah. then
They
this
lived
is the
together for a
sweet, sweet
while.
love child. And it would, that's all.
So Rita. So let's go on the Rita
We can
arc.
talk about Rita. with
Okay,
that
so Rita's like
weird
the orange
accent.
the orange character. Let's call her the orange character because everybody has a
Essential.
color in this movie,
Yes.
and they just wear that color, they live that color, they breathe that color.
Yeah,
Rita's
it's
like
not
the-
just their clothes. It's like their whole existence. It's their
Yeah.
cars. It's every item
I
in
don't
their
know.
home.
I don't know what kind of artistic choice like I said, I don't know who this movie was for or what genre it was supposed to be. Where this was a thing, like a stylistic choice where they thought would work, but that's fine. Rita's the orange, pink, weird, whatever, and she, what?
Coral.
Coral. Yeah, we'll call her the Coral character. So she just kind of stalks Lisa, follows her around trying to get her set up with a man because her mom. Oh, also, just to drive the point home that the director really wants this bitch to get laid, she says, you need to. Oh, I heard that you're dating 2 guys at one time. You should date 4 or 5 guys at one time.
Yeah.
Like, it's fucking. It's nuts. Like,
Yeah, it's a weird dialogue like that's a weird conversation, but also stylistically, it's creepy as shit. She's like the mother when it cuts to the scenes of the mother on the phone. She's like backlit.
In a rocking chair,
she's
backlit,
she's
silhouetted.
Yeah,
It's
and
so
just
weird.
looks like it's like a fucking horror movie.
Different movie. It's another different movie.
It's another movie. There's like 30 fucking movies in this one movie.
You should date 4 or 5 guys at one
Yeah.
time. Like what?
It's
Back
just so
when I was your age, I'd do it in the same room at the same time. Just fucking-
So Rita's a creep. And the scene where they all end up going out to dinner, and I don't remember how this fucking happened, but whatever. So it's Rita and the mom, and then Alvin. Sorry, he's Prince at this time. Prince and Lisa, and they're all.
Oh yeah, that's later. So yeah, after that that dancing scenario where she finds out that there people are being paid to dance with her, she tells like, "No, I found someone. It's fine. I'm in love." And blah blah blah. Well, let's meet tomorrow morning, and then realize, well, I can't meet in the morning.
No. I'm talking about
That's
the eating part.
Yeah, because that's the next day. Because they try to set it up for the next morning, and she says,
Oh, okay.
"Oh no, he works in the morning." And then she said, "Well, I have a flight in the morning." And then Rita says, "I'll just change your plans." Like, all right, so you just rearranged the. Like,
yeah.
That's expensive.
Good luck with United on that one. Fucking.
That sounds like a fucking nightmare. And she's like, "Yeah, fine, no big deal. We'll just rearrange your flight." Which, what was the flight for? Where were you going? Was this important? Apparently not important.
Where does
enough
she live?
That
I
you
don't
could
know.
just change everything and like, oh fuck, I'll just like open
She
up your whole
flies frequently,
afternoon.
by the way, as we learn later in the movie.
Yes.
But so they
So
go
then
out to dinner,
they meet up for dinner the next day.
and they are all sitting at the dinner table.
You're probably gonna say like one of the only things I wrote down. But go ahead.
It's the thing that
it's
happens.
absolutely incredible. And once again, this is a
Second favorite scene.
This is a choice. This is a choice that I don't know why it was made, but they all eat in complete
Yeah, it's just
unison,
like fucking-
choreographed unison. Every bite
every bite is synchronized
in complete silence.
because there's no
There's
audio.
no score.
There's no score, and the eating scene specifically when they go to take a bite, those shots, there's like no ambient noise either.
Yeah.
Like it's just dead silent for like, and this happens like throughout the movie, just random points in time. It's just completely dead silent, and there's not even ambient noise. Or there's a fucking scene we saw earlier.
The rain.
Where there's the rain, but no, it was the night thing. So there's like, again, time doesn't make sense in this movie either. Where
The crickets.
you hear like crickets and ambient like nighttime noise when
It's the sped up scene where she's getting ready to go out in the day.
Yeah, it's that another.
And then
like,
the next scene is a jump cut to her on the couch at night.
yeah,
Like time just comes and goes, and there are scenes where they're talking where the ones, this is a great scene to discuss about this like weird passage of time that makes no sense, much like this review. But she's sitting there and she's talking to him about, look, there's no stars in the sky. You can come into my lunch thing tomorrow. And he's like, I don't know if I trust that. And then she's like, come over here, look. And then he comes over there and it's daytime. Literally the same conversation.
Yeah, is it
And
supposed
it's
to be
cloudy.
the next
See, it's cloudy.
day?
I told you. Like, what? Like,
Which also, when was this discussed that if there's clouds, you can be
as long
a
as the
person?
sun's covered. Like,
Just fucking move to Seattle.
Like-
Like, you'll be fine. It's not even that far.
and then you can just be a person all the
yeah.
time.
God damn.
It's
You don't even have to fall in love.
No, there's so much weird shit. And yeah, but so with that, it's like, yeah, she has to meet. Oh yeah, because at this point, after the attempted rape, which again, the conclusion that I'm about to mention with that is weird enough too. So the guy leaves and just screams, "You're fired," because it was the manager.
I quit.
And then she cries out, "I quit." And my first thought was, well, the Asian gentleman that we found out is gay. That again, we didn't even discuss that, how he wants her to have a child with him, but just he'll take care of her and it just to hide his secret from his family and whatever. But that guy owns the store. So what? Why are you worried about this guy? Just no, he's fired.
I thought the rapey guy was the guy. The
No,
owner.
he was
No,
just
he's
the
just a
manager.
manager.
So the
Asian guy is the manager
The
or the
owner.
owner.
Yeah, because when you first see him right before, I know I wasn't sure about this either until like we watched it again. Like so, like right before the whole like having a conversation through the clothes thing. He says something about about visiting his stores and like you make my stores the best or something like that. I forgot the line, but like yeah, he implies that he owns the chain retail stores that she works for. So more shit that doesn't make any fucking sense.
That doesn't make any sense. But let's get back to the fucking.
Yeah, sorry.
Because
there's so much.
as we've discussed, she was a virgin for the beginning part of the movie, and everybody was dunking on her for that. That's what this whole movie's about. Is about clowning on this girl for being a virgin, which is whatever. But she does end up when he is a man. Which is a whole other scene. When he when he becomes a man.
For the first time.
So it's raining. She runs outside to find him. I'm just going to simplify this. She runs out into the woods. Where are you, Prince? Oh my God, I can't find you. Because now she gives a shit about where the dog goes. She didn't before, but now she does. And the dog brings her an umbrella, which is okay. She opens the umbrella.
Where?
That's and she's like in the fucking woods, and it's clearly sprinklers. It's not real rain. Like there's so much going on. And okay, she opens the umbrella, and that's when she has that come to Jesus moment where she's like, I'm in love with my dog. And she's like, oh my God, I'm just going to stay with you forever. I don't want to be with anybody anymore. I love you. And then a couple moments pass.
And he becomes just a naked human being.
Oh no, he doesn't just become a human being. He goes, shabam!
Oh, yeah.
Oh my
Yes.
God.
Alvin Flang yells, shabam.
Fuck.
And then becomes Prince, who is a naked man. And it turns out she's just hugging his legs. And then she freaks out, probably because she realizes there's a dick on her head.
Jesus Christ.
And then it's just immediately he just goes to do, oh no, look, and tries to explain everything in like 3 sentences. And then ultimately says,
the sentences he chooses are, it's me. I'm your dog.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. To any other person, that would be terrifying.
Yes. And then
but to her, she goes, thank you for answering my prayers.
yes,
like,
he
what?
says, I can be your husband. Like, first of all, you were a dog until seconds ago. I'm still trying to process that. Or any human being should be trying to process that. Secondly, it's like, okay, now you're a man. I don't fucking know you. All I know about you is that as a dog, you tried to bite my friend earlier. You pretended to be dead so that I could take you home. There's like, we didn't even get to that. Like, one of the first things, like, when he finally leaves, the first time he's a dog and follows her home, and then like she kicks him out, he follows her and like lays down in the at the gas station so that and tries to look sickly so that she'll take him home. And that, like, there's just so much with this.
The desperate and hopeless act works every time,
Yes.
or whatever he says.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't remember. But the point is, as a man, he goes home with her, and it literally made me long for the horrible love scenes in the room because it was so awkward.
Oh, yeah, they just go home and fuck right away.
They don't just fuck right away. It's a very prolonged and awkward process where he's touching her and she's going,
Yeah, she's like covering her face, pushing his hand away, but then not, and then doing like, oh, this
And
is
I was like,
what do I do?
Does she not want to do this? Or
and then they do, and then they cut away, and all you can hear are sounds. And
Well, one of the sounds you hear there's like an exterior shot of like a fucking window or something while you hear her moaning, and you just hear Prince, the human, repeatedly say, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm like,
Yeah.
what the fuck is happening? She's like, oh, yeah. He's like, I'm so sorry. I'm so
real
sorry.
lady killer.
Like,
Real.
Yeah. Just because he mentions when he first becomes a human, like, oh, I was a cheating playboy, and now I'm a dog cursed.
oh, so he's
it's
sorry
like,
for the STDs. That's what it is.
that could be it.
Yeah,
Hey,
yeah,
see,
yeah.
we're
She's
just,
like,
we got
it's burning.
It's-
I'm sorry.
I don't know. But so immediately after she starts getting fucked, and we talked about this earlier, her hair completely changes. Her clothes change. She looks nicer. She gets a better job. She is doing better in life because this director is so obsessed with the fact that if you get fucked right, you're going to do good. Like, that's what this whole movie is about, which is crazy. Even if it has to come from a dog, just do what you got to do. Just get it done. I don't know. So then so back to Rita, the crazy orange lady. So we're back to the orange lady now. She is not okay with this fucking guy. Even though he was eating in perfect synchronization with them, he should have been in the cult at that point. But she's not into it. So
this was the first time that they all meet each other.
Yeah.
And then the mother asks, so when are you guys getting married? It's like, you found out literally yesterday that she had a boyfriend. You've met him for, I don't know, 4 synchronized bites of food.
Everything in this movie is in fast forward. Nobody knows what the fuck's going on.
Yes.
So she immediately is suspicious of this guy. She doesn't like him. She shows up the next day at Lisa's house. Pardon?
Well, no. First, they finished their dinner with saying, "Oh, you should go to the courthouse tomorrow and get a marriage."
I forgot about that
and
part.
get a marriage.
Shit! Oh my god!
I know. There's so much. You should go get a marriage license in the morning. They suggest, and he nervously is like, "Oh, I'm gonna be a fucking dog in the morning." And he's like, "Yeah." Like, why are you saying yes? Just say no. Like, So, but immediately after this, when the mother tells the story in front of him to the daughter, oh, you know, your father was supposed to meet me at the courthouse for a marriage license and stood me up. like just implying like, hey, don't do this. Like, oh, weird, because that's definitely gonna happen. We all know that he's gonna be a fucking dog in the morning.
Does she go to the courthouse?
Yes. And then they all meet at the courthouse.
Why?
And then they freak out on her, like, you need to leave him. Why isn't he here? This is bullshit. But he does show up as Alvin Flang, the fucking dog, and
of course,
she ends up leaving too. She sees her like, oh my gosh.
Predictably, as Alvin Flang, he says what Alvin Flang would say, and says, "It's kind of hard to get a marriage license when you're a dog," or something like that.
Is this when he says, "I am so depressed right now. I need to give me some Kung Pao chicken.
Yes.
I got to give me some Kung Pao, man.
Pao.
Kung Pao."
He sings it. He says it 3 times and
We
sings
haven't
it
even
twice.
gotten to the
best.
songs.
Oh, we haven't.
Oh, boy.
But to finish that scene off, yeah, he's like, I'm so depressed. But also, he mentions twice in the movie he needs doggy
Yeah,
Prozac.
that was the next thing I was gonna say.
Yes, and then he leaves. The scene leaves. She sees him and just like, hey, okay, whatever, bye, and then leaves. It's like, just get the dog in your car and go away. Like, no one, like, it's your dog. Why did you just? She just left him, and then goes and picks him up when it's dark, when he's naked in a park. Like,
Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
Like, what
And
the fuck?
He runs up to the car.
with leaves covering, like he just grabs some branches and leaves. It's like,
I thought it was I thought it was clothes covering his junk. It wasn't. I don't know.
no,
what it
because
was.
when he gets in, she opens the door, she throws clothes at him.
Oh, that's what it was.
It's
Okay.
like, you could have just taken the dog into the house.
And then don't
instead
they
you
fuck?
left him
Don't
to
they
get-
fuck in the car like immediately? No,
No,
that's a
that's-
different scene. That's a different scene.
Yes, that's
Yeah,
after.
they fuck in the car, but
another
you know,
weird
it's a
thing.
different scene.
Oh god. Okay, wait. What were we talking about before we went on this one? Because there was something else we were trying to say, and I fucking forgot already. Because
We were
so
finishing
much.
up Rita.
Rita, yeah, we're back on. The
I don't really have
Rita.
much
I
more
think
to say
that was
about
the
Rita.
end of Rita.
No,
Rita-
it's not, because we have to talk about the scene where she follows
Oh,
him.
that's right.
all
Okay.
through the
yeah,
town.
yeah. So,
So-
no, now it's the day after that is when
It's
she
like
shows up.
2 days after that. Nobody knows
Whatever it
what
is.
day it is, but she's like,
This
I don't
movie
fucking
could take
trust this
place
guy.
over the course of 3 years. We have no idea.
And she's like, she shows up at what time? Because he's a man at the time. When she shows up at the
Yeah,
house,
so it should be night. But if
Yeah.
you look out the window, you can see
It's
that the sun's out.
clearly daytime. Clearly.
Also, why is he not a person inside at all times?
There's
if
no,
the
the
sun
sun's
is black?
not shining on you. Isn't that
Just
the rule
close
now?
the
Like-
fucking blinds, homie.
Like they changed their own. The movie changes its own rules of what's supposed to make sense throughout the movie.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Oh
so she
my
shows
God.
up. He's a person. It's daytime, obviously, as you can see out the door in the window. He is yet still a person. And then yeah, so she comes in. She just shows up. Well, Prince opens the door and she just kind of falls onto him. So he has to like pick her up, like, oh shit, she's gonna die, and then sets her down and then go on. I know this is where you wanted to pick up.
No. It's okay. But basically, she makes up this cockamamie story about how
Yeah.
she has to drive Lisa's mom to the airport, but she like had a fucking mental breakdown halfway through or
And she
something.
said she
and,
started
like,
feeling really dizzy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she like couldn't do it, so she's like, "Oh, can you take your mom to the
yeah.
airport and whatever?" But basically, it's a whole thing. Oh my god, we didn't even get to the fucking commercial yet. Jesus Christ, we're missing.
I want to hit the. They put a tail on him while he's a person.
Yes.
And
All right, that's what we're getting to. So the thing, yeah, it's basically the story of like, oh, I'm dizzy, I have to go, and then for whatever reason makes up some bullshit, like, oh no, I won't go with you. Oh well, let's go. I'll drive you. I'll drive you guys. She's like, no, you just drive her.
Long story short,
I'll
this,
wait here.
This cuts to a montage of her somehow chasing him through
just
the
Benny
city.
Hilling. She's just Benny
Yeah,
Hilling
yes.
behind.
Literally, yes.
Yeah.
Benny Hilling and fast forward with
No
no music,
audio
No.
whatsoever.
none,
So awkward.
silence.
She
All through town,
she
which
corners
again,
him.
It's supposed to be
daytime, then
daytime.
It's nighttime, and then it's daytime. I don't know.
Yeah, it's supposed to be daytime, and
she
then
corners him in like a bathroom, and he goes in the bathroom as a human, but with a tail, as you
Yeah,
said.
just for a second.
for
It's
like a
so,
second, he's got a tail hanging out as he goes into the
it's
bathroom.
like the most like
Because again, it went from
Adam and Eve butt plug
Yeah.
fucking furry
for
tail.
sure. They had it already.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
somebody on set was
almost
like,
certainly.
Lisa.
could probably
It was
use
Lisa.
this.
It was Lisa.
Anyway, so they had this fucking thing, and then the dog comes out, and she's like, "Oh my god, he's a dog."
Yeah,
and it
then,
was
then
so
jump cut to
fucking
the next
crazy.
scene where she's at Lisa's work telling her, I saw him turn into a dog. She's like, you did? Well, not really. But I did, but I didn't. I don't know. Like,
and I was like, does somebody understand this movie? Maybe somebody in this movie understands this
no,
movie.
and
No,
no,
no
not
one
even
does.
the people in the
But
movie.
she was asking the same questions that I was asking, so I was like,
It was unbelievable. So now
Yes.
that we've kind of seen him turn into a dog in front of people,
Yeah.
well, where do we want to start, guys?
don't
Literally,
know.
we
We
should have
could-
had a wheel to spin to talk about certain things about.
God,
this
we
movie.
should have because there's
Because-
just too much.
Do you want to talk about the songs? What do you want to talk about?
We'll get to the songs. Let's go ahead and just try to finish up like the basic premise parts
Okay.
of the movie. So
well,
then,
let's go to the
Where she
department
has-
management meeting that she had with her
where
bosses.
so she pressures him into like, hey, come to the fucking meeting with my boss. I have this new job now because remember I quit the other one. So now I'm working at this other store.
She's getting fucked, so now she's gonna get promoted.
Yeah, she's like, I need to get
idea.
promoted. You need to be here to this meeting. Blah blah blah. It's in the daytime. No, it's not gonna work. Well, look, it's overcast. Okay, fine. I guess I'll risk the possibility that I might, as a human being, transform into a dog in front of your boss. You're cool with this idea. Let's go ahead and risk it.
Yes, because he needs to see that I have sex. He needs to see. He needs to see it.
Everyone needs to know I'm getting fucked. They go to the thing. He talks about like, oh, I have these very successful businesses. I have over 5 stores. 6? 7? Those numbers are more than 5. Why just say I have over 5 stores? Yeah, that could be literally any number
greater than 5.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
I would like to think that he has like 370 stores. But it's over 5 stores.
More than over 5 stores.
Yeah.
It's more than 5.
And it talks about how he needs people, like he needs to promote people to be managers because he looks at his kids and like, because they don't want to run the family business. The first one says, I'm a medical doctor. Like, yeah, why do they want to be the manager of your fucking retail store when they're a doctor?
Well, he's got 6 of them.
And then he's got more than 5.
Yeah.
And then the son was, I want to be a Hollywood actor or some shit like that.
I want to be a movie star.
Movie star is what he says. This fucking turd.
And then, of course, medical doctor goes,
yeah,
this guy.
So much better.
Of course.
It's like, you're not going to be a movie star acting in this fucking movie. So there's
also,
that.
that's a great shining example of nobody says I'm a medical doctor.
Yeah.
I'm a doctor. Like the non-native speaker just really just pushing it in there that you should speak broken English for no fucking reason throughout this whole movie.
The only other time I've heard medical doctor used so much is actually Scully in the X-Files always says,
Yes,
I'm a
you
medical
talk about
doctor.
that a lot.
I do.
Yeah.
It's hilarious.
I bet
every
she
single
just
time.
watched fucking, that was her only
That was
show that
probably-
she watched while she was in China. She's like, this is America.
You know, I get X-Files.
This is her fantasy X-Files episode put into a feature film.
I would watch this X-Files episode. I don't want to watch it as a movie. I do, though. I've watched it too many times.
What if Scully fucked a dog? I don't know.
But it was a person.
Yeah.
Oh, let's do that. So
I want to believe.
So it's overcast. It's,
Just a poster of like him morphing.
Animorphs
And
cover.
I want to believe it.
all right, I guess I know.
Okay.
I guess I know what I'm filling my time with.
Yeah,
Like Photoshop in
makes-
the next few
makes some
days.
shirts, yeah.
Is doing that. And yeah, there's a shirt. Anywho, so yeah, they're at this thing that happens, and it's still overcast, but during the daytime, so he's a person. And then the fucking like next scene, they're all just like on the patio, chatting around the pool.
In
it's
broad
fucking
daylight.
daylight.
There's
The
no
sun
clouds.
is just beating down on this man dog, and it takes like a long.
No. The best
Yeah.
part about this is that he keeps going, and it's like the weirdest shots of him going.
Yeah, he's like looking at
Like
the
somebody's
sky,
dropping
like,
fucking bombs on
And
his
then
city.
the other shot comes back, and it's just him sitting there comfortably. But then, like, they go to the other shot, and he's like this,
just fucking
He's just,
freaking
like,
out.
freaking out, like Birdemic, thinking
Yeah.
that they're coming.
And then, but he's sitting at a table across from the wannabe movie star son, and acting all weird.
Movie star. He was in this movie.
That's
movie
it.
star.
And then, so then he decides, oh, what am I gonna do? The sun's out. I'm gonna change. Oh, I'll just crawl under the table. It just crawls under the table and turns into a fucking dog.
Oh my
The kid
God.
freaks out. I saw him turn into a dog. And everyone's first reaction isn't fucking idiot. Like they're just like, what? Huh?
Well,
like,
there's a dog there, and the guy's gone. So I mean,
So
unless,
I mean, it seems makes it kind of sense.
I mean,
but
unless
not,
this guy
but,
is fucking David Copperfield, it's kind of a weird situation. Like, honestly.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Really
Wow.
had to-
Wow. So yeah, he turns into a fucking dog. They start screaming. Everyone starts panicking. She just like fucking flails and panics and falls into the pool. Asks Prince to save her. His monologue again, internal monologue going like, "You made me embarrass myself, and now you want me to save you?
Oh,
That's unfair."
And then, and as he's like swimming throughout the pool, this golden retriever just like leisurely dog paddling throughout the pool. He like almost looks at the camera, and the voiceover says,
the best line in the entire
"This
film.
is so unfair."
There's that one.
And then, who wants to say it?
I don't know.
Said, okay,
When do you
ultimately
get it?
ultimately goes to save her. After he's like, got her. They're going back. He's like, come on, you pizza face cinder block, and then just takes her back to the fucking edge of the pool.
Pizza face cinder block. I've
It's
never.
the fucking best. So, because now that we know, because I never really noticed like the fake acne on her earlier until again we watched
I
it
didn't
multiple
notice it at
times.
all.
Yeah, we watched multiple times
I-
and reading
honestly,
or
no,
watching
I
the
really didn't
interviews.
either.
Yeah, and having watched the interviews and shit, it's like how oh yeah, we gave her fake acne because when you're horny, you fucking break out, whatever. So
Oh,
the
that's
pizza.
how puberty works.
Oh my god! So the pizza face thing makes
Nice.
sense
Okay.
now, not the first. I just thought it was the most hilarious random fucking insult.
Yeah,
you could
The
call
first time we
anybody.
heard that, I think we literally
I was like, God.
No, we had to
damn.
rewind it like several times. I'm like, that was the best thing I've ever heard. So yeah, implying, of course, hey, you got all that fucking acne, pizza face, and then you imply that she's fat as fuck and heavy.
She's,
Carrying
by the
through
way,
ball.
she's 70 pounds. Like
Maybe.
Yeah, soaking
in the
wet.
Wonder Woman.
in the pool, soaking wet, 70
Yeah.
pounds. Pizza face cinder block. So that's my favorite insult of all time.
yeah, that's gonna be one that we use for years to come.
And then I think the dog singing comes soon after that, right?
Which one?
The dog singing.
The dog
Oh,
singing.
he's been singing
oh,
through
he
the
sings
whole
the whole
movie.
time.
So to wrap
well,
this
he does like little jingles, but he like sings at some point, right? Or am I
No,
fucking...
What?
They're all kind of
Like
no.
in
They're
a,
just
like in
maybe-
a choir?
No,
Like a
maybe I'm
choir of
tripping.
dogs
I might have
singing?
had a dream. I don't know.
That's a great dream. Let's get
Wait,
inside
tell
your
me
head.
all about this dream that you
He's
had.
fucking, I don't know. He's got a microphone. He's fucking.
Just
no,
going for it.
No, that does not happen.
Anyway, so
I was like,
all right.
whoa, what are you thinking?
all right, I want to hurry up and like wrap up the actual like movie that we watched, and then we can go back and I want to talk about the fucking singing. Yeah, so that wraps up. Again, he says like multiple times in the movie as a person, maybe I should just go back to being a dog. Like he just gives up 40 times in this movie.
And also he keeps saying, like, especially at the point where she was considering killing herself, if she dies, I'm screwed.
Yeah, I gotta start all
Like,
over
he
again.
doesn't give a shit
give
about
shit.
her
He
at
literally
all.
says, "I'll have to start all over again." And what? Find a woman. It's like,
Well, okay, to be fair, you gotta find a woman
that's gonna love you as a dog.
Exactly.
So that's a
So,
little,
it's a little difficult.
little narrower.
Didn't
scope.
seem that hard. It was like the third person he saw at the park. So
You're not wrong.
We don't know how long he's been looking for ladies. It might have been a long journey for this.
I guess.
For
That
this
is
dog
also
man.
that's also true.
What?
So yeah, it does that, and then apparently has some fucking moment where he tells her, "Oh no, it's cool. Like I can die and then being reincarnated, and then it'll be cool. I can be like a regular person." Because also they bring up multiple times how he doesn't have a fucking bank account, driver's license, any kind of ID because he was a dog, and then is suddenly just a human being trying to do shit in real life. So what happens? Do they do that, and then? Is there any other wacky shit before?
I don't know, there's a
car
scene
thing?
where she
he like
goes-
runs. He runs away. That's right. He like decides in the middle of the night, like I'm just gonna leave. Is this the scene you're talking about?
no, there's just a scene where she goes, I don't want to see this. I wrote it word for word.
Oh,
Oh
because
my
yes,
God!
yes.
Yes.
She goes, I don't want to see this. I don't want to hear this. I don't want to see this. I don't want to hear this. I don't want to see this. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to see it. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to see it. I don't want to hear it. And I thought to myself, agreed.
Yes.
Please,
But
please
also,
make
as I
it
point
stop.
out, no one's hearing anything.
Yeah,
So
there's
it's
jack
all
shit to
silent. The
listen
whole
to.
No,
movie's
it
fucking
was
silent.
it was Alvin Flang saying
it was-
that.
yeah, it
but
was-
yeah.
Oh, it was him. Okay.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
but-
right. That's
That
right.
was yeah.
But it's crazy. Like, and this when we were watching it tonight, the first thing as soon as he goes, I don't want to see this. I was like, oh God, here we go. I don't want to see this. I don't want to hear this. I don't want to see this. I don't want to hear this.
over and fucking over again. I think that's the moment now where he decides like, oh fuck it, I'll just be a dog and run away. So again, it goes,
No. It was after that. It's right after that. You guys are right on the same page. It was right after he decides, okay, I'm gonna be a dog again.
Yeah.
But then he goes back to the pond and is like, fuck it, fuck you. You've been playing around with me long enough. Remember when he says like, you've been playing with me.
Yeah.
I did everything you asked. And then she goes, no. you
Spot on.
have to go back
Spot on.
and
Nailed
do the right thing.
Yeah.
And then that's
Then
when
there's
he
that
gets
weird
the
montage.
flashback because
Okay, you're
because
right.
the pond puts it into his mind and he gets that montage of
Forces him to ponder
Yes.
Ah!
what has been going on this entire movie.
Three-Legged Bears Productions.
Yes.
So he runs back and that's when he's like having this and then he's like
No,
and then,
I'm gonna
and then,
do the right thing, and then
yes,
she
and
sees
the
him.
shot, no, the
running-
shot.
I don't
of him,
even remember what happens here.
The
I
shot.
remember
Okay, so he does the
result.
weird. I don't want to hear this. I don't want to see this montage. And then there's a shot of just literally. It could be any fucking golden retriever. I don't know. There's probably 8 of them in this movie. So
According to the
it's
credits,
just
it's one. I think his name was
Tiki.
Yeah, his name was Tiki.
So
Aw.
he's run.
Tiki.
Shout out to Tiki. I hope you're well. He's running like just leisurely trotting down the sidewalk, and then the ADR is, "I'm gonna do what's right. I'm going to fix all of these problems." And I'm like, in the 90s,
Cool.
the golden retriever probably could have solved everybody's problems. It was the mascot. But yes, okay. So anyway, continue.
Yeah. So anyway, he's like decided, oh, I'm gonna run back. Fuck it, I'm going. He's just barreling down the fucking sidewalk. Just again, internal monologue. I was wrong. This is gonna be fine. And then she like Why does she decide? Does she call out for him randomly, or does
she instinctively knew that he was coming?
Okay, so she leaves the house.
She could smell
looks
him.
around the fucking corner, sees him like, oh, and then runs to the edge of the sidewalk and waves like, oh, Prince, and then he just comes running across the street and bam, fucking hit by a car, dead, fucking dead.
Okay,
and when
you
we
say
saw that,
dead, but he wasn't really dead because when you see the shots, he's
that dog's
clearly breathing.
That dog's breathing. It's looking around. That's just a tired dog.
He's got fucking strawberry jelly on his face.
Yes.
He's just very well trained and relaxed, just like.
That dog's just food coming from
I'm
eating all
fucking
the
ready for this shit
eating
to be
8
over.
jelly donuts.
Quick
and getting it all
conspiracy
over his
time.
face.
I think that she was controlling the voice of the pond this whole time, and that's how she knew that he was coming.
Oh my god.
And she wanted to fuck a dog, and she was like, "I'll just wait." And I'll
But could she do an impression of the pond like I could?
not as well.
Probably not.
Guys,
But again,
voice changer.
I'm
again,
not in this movie.
Again,
it wasn't
better movie.
me.
Better
Nothing
again,
to do with
better
the
movie.
movie.
Better movie
saying.
idea.
Yeah.
I watched that one.
How to fuck a dog in 10 days. Oh my god.
Yeah, hey, as long as they put a boat in the movie, you get
Yeah.
McConaughey involved.
Oh my
it's be
God.
fine.
Can we please
That's a
title
whole
the,
nother-
can we please
McConaughey
title
doing a
this
dog voice.
podcast How to fuck a dog in 10 days?
Oh my god.
Oh.
Christ. All right, I'm gonna die, much like I was playing. So, all right, Daw's dead, and then it's like 3-second scenes, and then smash cuts. It says years later. Doesn't say how many years, just years later, and she's selling the place that she lives, or she put up a sign, a for rent sign, and she's old because of the shitty wig and like the dark circles they put under her
Was
eyes.
it even a wig, or did they just like put some shitty
don't
spirit
know.
Spray paint.
Halloween?
I think they spray
Yeah,
painted.
it might have been.
It
that.
was honestly, I swear to God, the first time I watched this movie, I didn't even know that she was supposed to be older. I was just like, oh, she's depressed and she's wearing baggier
and she's
clothes.
walking over a little hunched over, like and like talking
Yeah,
all
she's
stupid.
depressed.
Yeah.
Okay.
So apparently she's supposed to be old, and then we see that what was the
Paula.
Purple Paula, Pink and Purple Paula shows up with like 4 grandchildren, so she's old now too, to like rent the place because she saw in the paper, which it opens the door and like takes a second and goes, Lisa, like you didn't know that she lived in the same like. You've been
No,
Yeah, I know.
because-
She's been there
here
so
before.
many times.
You've been
Because-
there so many times, and she's clearly never left. This place.
Well, not clearly because
It doesn't when you open the door and you see it.
because it's implied. Okay, guys, woman's perspective. Just saying.
Oh,
It's
we didn't even mention the fact that they like stopped being friends
Yeah. No.
for a thing. Anyway, watch the movie.
So it's implied that as a woman with her million fucking grandkids.
Mm-hmm.
And they talk about this. Oh, we didn't even talk about the Chinese lady that she met in the park and all that other shit.
yeah, there's so much.
We'll get to that. But
We'll do like a whole.
But the
extra credit
implied
episode or something.
thing is that as a woman in your life, you're supposed to meet a man, have 1 million babies, move out of your fucking. Is it a shitty house? I thought it was pretty nice.
Is it an apartment? Who knows? Is it?
I don't
condo?
know.
They don't-
Anyway, the implication is
No,
you're
that's fine.
supposed to leave and have a big ass family by now.
Right.
Like Pink and Purple slutty ass Paula clearly did.
Yes.
So she comes back and goes, "Oh my God, Lisa, you're
you're
still
still-
here."
Oh yeah, but
So
I always thought when
there's-
she says, "You're still here." Like,
Yeah.
whatever.
There's a lot of judgment going on there.
Yeah.
But you know, obviously because she wanted to wait. Just you do.
Anyway,
Everything
yeah.
else.
So anyway, she sits there and she tells the kids to play in the corner. Which again, this is a single woman that I don't know is in her 70s maybe at this point, and the grandchildren play with something somewhere in the corner. And then they sit down on the couch, and that's where we have the photo album with all the great, kink fucking photo shoots. Photos, and then it's accompanied with the pictures of just the dog. And I'm assuming from what we gather from this conversation that she explains to Paula the whole scenario,
Well,
and
because-
she's just cool with it.
Well, Pink and Purple Paula goes, "Oh my God, I had no idea you went through all this."
Yeah, it's
Like what's all this?
Just
What
buy
all
it.
this? How
Just
much
buys it
all of this
instantly.
do you know?
Yeah, like every time, because then she also asks, like, "Oh, so you've just been—that's that why you've been waiting for Prince this whole time? You think he's coming back? This is why you put the ad in the paper so that he'll."
Yeah.
Like,
And
like,
she says-
he
and-
knows where you live too.
And then she says, if Prince came back, he'd be the same age as us now. Hey, why?
"No, yeah." She said, and
we literally talked about this 5 minutes
And
before you came here.
and Paula, who found this information out
Wait,
moments ago.
hold on, because he was on a thing.
Yeah.
What were you saying?
Well, dog years they could have easily explained it in dog
I
years.
was thinking that too, and I was like, wait, that doesn't make sense either. So like, what the fuck were they going off of?
It could have been like 9 dog years he would be 63.
You mathematically calculated this?
Yes. Well, because 7 times 9.
So,
It's
yeah.
not. I'm not fucking Stephen
It's
Hawkinson. Fucking.
Hawkinson?
Yeah, I know. So I was like, she easily could have been like, well, in dog years, he'd be 63 right now. And tell us how the fuck old you are, because I have no idea.
Yes, please.
63.
Yeah.
But yeah, so she says, oh, he'd be the same age. And then Paula, who just found, again, all of this information out and is not freaked the fuck out like, oh, she has lost her mind, is just like, oh,
She's
well, no, actually, you realize that it would pick up from when he was reincarnated versus, so he'd only be, he'd be young. And she's like,
oh,
fuck, I never
but
thought
here's
of
the
that. And
twist
she
that
just
you
like,
guys have not thought of until right now.
what?
She thought he was going to be reincarnated as a dog full time. So he would have been 63 at the time. Perhaps.
Knowing what we know about her from watching this so much, she probably was hoping that he was going to be reincarnated as only a dog. And like,
So is that what
I
she
got
was
my dog.
thinking when she said it? And then Paula was like, hey, you're crazy. And that's even crazier than the crazy shit you've been saying to me. So perk up, fucking buttercup. I don't know what the fuck you're doing. I don't know.
And then there's
so there's that, and then it just fades, and then it's like the next morning, and she's again just super old and weird, and everything's green, and somebody knocks on the door, and you see on the wall that she still has the leash hung up on the wall, which is like ridiculous.
Which leash? Is it the dog leash or the human dog leash?
It's probably the same leash.
Probably, yeah,
Oh
it's
my
got to be the
God.
same one, the same collar, same
so
leash.
Weird.
It is. This knock on the door again, like, oh, is this place the place for rent? I saw the ad, blah blah blah, and then you see like the worst wig on a human being in the background while she's just like, oh, and again, somebody else probably Ralph had talked about this too. It looks like they're trying to like hide so you can't see who that is, but you know who it is, and then also you just see his fucking face, like, oh look, it's fucking Prince with a shitty wig, walking in as a young man with different color hair, which. I can't stress this enough. A shitty wig.
I thought. Wait. Am I misremembering this? That he did not have gray hair at first.
No, he
No,
comes
he
in with a
didn't.
shitty.
It
Again,
looks like a Guy Fieri
there's a
wig.
series of
It looks like an NSYNC wig.
they spray painted black.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
He
bad.
he walks in like that, and then he's like, "Hey, is this the place?" Looking around, and then sees her. He's like, "Lisa, it's me, Prince." It's like, okay. You didn't need the ad then to come here. You remember everything. Apparently, where you been for the last? I don't know how old you are. 30, like
I'm
the
busy.
last 30 years.
Yeah.
Like, and then they like embrace, and then magically he has another shitty wig, which is all gray. Now he's old again.
Pissed me off so much because they didn't do the dog years thing. That's
didn't.
right. That's why I get so mad.
No, you're right. It was a missed
They could've
opportunity. It
done
could
that.
have been so
Absolutely.
easy.
It was just so
It's-
easy.
She should have
right
just
there.
hugged him and then he would have turned back into the fucking dog.
Yeah.
That would have been great. Dog wedding. End of story.
Could have done it. And then he explains what he's done, I guess, the last one. He's like, I have a very successul dog training business. Or he says, I have a dog training business. Obviously, it's successful. It's like, yeah, we get it. You were a dog. That was the point of the movie.
I wrote this down. I don't remember it, though. And I said, they're young again? ?
Oh, because that's,
Yeah.
So then right after that.
When they get married.
For
they
whatever
that's-
reason.
that's right.
Is there even like any kind of transition? They just like, he says what he does now. He's like, hey, look, now I do this. I'm successful. Hey, I'm old now because of the wig. We can be together, blah, blah, blah. And then it like, I think smash cuts to them having a wedding ceremony with just the two of them in the backyard. Again,
Hey, it doesn't count. Need a
awkwardly
witness.
to-
By the way, doesn't
What?
count. Doesn't count. Need a witness. Just
That's
saying.
true. Well,
That's
you
true.
need a witness, need a marriage
They were on
license,
Zoom.
which they never got the fucking license, which maybe they did in that period of time between those two scenes. Again,
If I was a magical pond, I wouldn't accept it. That's all I'm saying. It seems illegitimate.
There's the weird.
They should have
just
gotten married at the
cinematic-
magical pond. Wouldn't that have made more sense?
That would have made
No,
more sense.
none of it.
Ish.
Just-
None of
no.
it made sense, but it would have like been like, oh, this is cute.
This
Look
is
at
my
that.
gripe with the
There's
movie.
their
Can they
witness.
get married at the
pond-
magical pond?
The pond could have been their
Yeah.
witness.
And then-
so it's the weird like cinematic, just swirling backyard shot of them just making out, like, oh, we're married. Again, no music makes it the most almost the second most uncomfortable scene in the entire movie. And then at a certain point, again, you get the weird sparkles that come down. And then, like you said, they're young again for no reason. They're just young again.
And then they just look into the camera. Hey, why?
And you have again
She winks, by the way.
She
if
does
you didn't,
wink,
if
which we
I
noticed.
only noticed that tonight, she goes,
and then just
Didn't
the
notice
end
it.
across the fucking.
"He's gonna be a dog again, guys. Just wait."
Yeah.
that's the
If she has
sequel.
anything to do with it, he'll be a dog again. And then winks, boom, done.
The end.
Shitty the end
Wait,
title.
guys.
Love on a Leash Productions Inc.
Yeah.
You're
Cool.
forgetting the green scarf that she puts around him just to.
Right. White wedding
Now
dress
you're
with the green
horny.
scarf. Yeah. And that's how that fucking stupid movie ends.
That's
All right.
Love on a Leash.
But we did
Wait.
one quick thing we have to go back because it's one of my favorite parts of the entire thing, which we talked about earlier, is Alvin Flang's internal monologue singing what he's doing in his day-to-day routine. Who wants to go for it? Like, it's just the best.
I don't remember.
And
any
I
of the
don't know
lyrics.
if that was
You don't?
No. What?
Oh, don't worry. We
Hit
do.
me with them.
What's the first one?
It's just like I'm a dog on the street. It's
Wait.
Something like it's hot. Something about how it's hot, like the concrete like hurts my feet because it's hot outside and I'm a dog.
Yeah,
like,
no,
that's like the
it's
first song.
insane.
And then there's I think the longer one you're
I'm a
talking about.
dog driving in a car.
Oh, there's that. Yeah, driving in a car, we're gonna go far. Yeah. And then there's like something about being all alone. Like
my god.
that was like that was
I'll
all true.
never reach my goal.
Oh, dude, I do remember that because I thought of fucking the Spaceball scene where Leia is in the jail cell and she's singing so deep, and I was like, oh, that's fucking what's happening right now.
This is literally okay. So for you guys that don't know this, throughout the movie, the dog's internal monologue, Alvin Flang, starts singing.
Just random songs.
And it's like songs that you would make up yourself while you're like doing something like, I'm sweeping the kitchen. It looks so good because I swept my kitchen today. Yeah. It's literally that, but it's in
But there's like 9 of them.
the movie.
Yeah.
Like,
Which I can't imagine for a second that was part of the script.
oh yeah. So no, the song you were talking was like,
he had just. What did she say? Just
the one that
riff?
was like,
Or like make a song up. It'd be fun. Just have
sing
fun.
what's
Just
happening.
have fun with
living
it.
on the street. I don't want to
Oh, yeah,
live
that's
on
the best
the
one.
street
That's the-
because it's hard
Yeah,
and it hurts my feet.
That's the one I was talking about when I-
My feet.
When I go outside because
'Cause
I'm
I'm
a
a
dog.
dog.
Oh my god. And,
Fucking mess.
but the best part, and we didn't even talk about this scene, the fucking weird ass museum scene where she brings him to the fucking museum.
Yeah.
And he's like, great way to experience ancient cultures when you leave me outside. But he's a dog, so he can't come inside. And so he.
Well, that's even weirder too.
Oh my god, we didn't even talk about the commercial. Listen.
Yeah. Also, he fights crime with a ninja on a TV show or something.
For a
Yeah,
commercial.
like what the fuck is
Because,
this?
oh man, we have to go all the way back to this. Okay, so
Okay, so
if you go back,
Wait, let's let Brian talk about this because he has so many notes that I feel
Well, no, I
like he
just
hasn't gotten to talk.
Let's say
I don't
it's
want
got-
to talk about it that much, to be honest. I just the only thing I want is when he goes, "It's time for you to know I fight crime with ninjas," and I was.
He said that?
Yes.
No, he
How
didn't.
Yes, he
did. I
did.
not remember that.
I
Fuck,
sw-
I got.
I have it
It's
written
the
down.
YouTube cut.
It's maybe. I
Maybe
don't know.
it's
We have to
possible.
watch it again.
Yeah, there's 3 different cuts of the movie, and
They're
they're
just
all
like slightly different.
Yeah.
But no, okay, yeah. To explain all of that shit, we got to go back to
The
for whatever
Dog
reason.
Talent Agency.
Yes, but before that, like he's discovered by.
Oh my
she's-
god, I forgot about this.
Yes,
too.
there's
Holy
like a
shit.
weird fucking like just clothing store like in a weird strip mall or something or just on the street. So there's just like a pile of clothes that are for sale
that's right.
in a pile on the fucking floor in the middle of this store. And she walks in and sees like 4 or 5 other people just randomly going for it. She brings the dog in, like, let's look for something green, and then like looks for clothes. And then the store owner or manager kicks the fucking dog.
So, allegedly.
Allegedly, you don't
Allegedly.
see it. You don't see it, but you just hear like, "Arr!" And then like, what? And then she starts screaming, "Why'd you kick my dog?" He's all, "You need to get him out of here." And then she's all, "Hurry, pick something." Like, what? You just know the dog can pick out something. And then he picks something up, and the internal Alvin Flang monologue is, "This looks tacky," and picks it up and gives it to her. And she's like, "Oh my god, it's perfect."
Yeah.
And then literally, like a fucking subreddit, everyone claps. And it's like. And in the distance, you see this guy with this fucking just looking like a fucking talent agent, just rips his glasses off, like, "Oh, look at that dog!" Tries to chase him down, like, "Hey, I'm an agent. Your dog's amazing." And she's like, "No." He's like, "No, I can pay you." He's like, "No," and then runs away. The dog walks up, asks for a card, like just by looking at him, I guess. Takes a fucking card out of the guy's hand. The guy looks at it and says, "Call me," and then he says, "We'll do lunch," and then walks away. Then later, at some whatever point. Oh, I'm Alvin Flang, and I'm Prince now, too, so I need to take care of my wife, who's not my wife yet, but I need to provide with no ID. I need a job. As the dog... Well, he's like, they're at a restaurant. Oh, God, it's so fucking complicated. At a restaurant, he, as a human being, calls the number on the card, sets up an appointment, says, I'll be there this day. And then
Just the dog will be there.
just the dog will be there. Yeah. Just, hey, the dog will be there.
Give the money to the dog.
Give the money. Yeah. It says give the money to the dog.
Oh, by the way,
that
that
happens
scene,
ever.
that scene is shot incredibly weirdly.
It's,
Like,
it's super
so
weird.
strange.
It's also in daylight where he's supposed to be a dog, but he's a person on the phone. Anyway, that gets set up, and then the dog goes to this dog talent agency and just is sitting in, like, breaks in, I guess, and is sitting at their desk. And then they give it
And he
like
goes-
he's like, oh, this dog knows how to pick out clothes.
He goes, pick up the indigo telephone.
Well, because it starts with
Just say purple. You don't
yeah.
need to say indigo. What do people feel the need to do?
It was blue. But even the dog fucking says, who says indigo?
Yeah.
Like, the dog is all of us. And honestly, I feel like that's one of the best parts of this
Yeah.
movie.
He just expresses what I want to say.
I
Yes.
can't believe either this is the most brilliant thing ever made, or it is so incompetently stupid.
I'm going with the latter.
No, I'm not, because until I heard that interview from the guy, I thought he was riffing, and I thought it was an incredible addition to like whatever fucking shit show this movie was.
Yeah.
But when he said that she wrote that script, I'm starting to change my mind. I think this might be a brilliant troll on all of us. I think she trolled us all. I think this was a brilliant movie. I think he's saying what we would have felt. I think it's amazing, actually.
I think you're out of your fucking mind. I think someone who just didn't understand American language or culture tried to make an American rom-com without understanding any
But
of
why
that
is
culture.
Alvin Flang so wildly... By the way, Alvin Flang
Because
was a riff.
he is voiced by a
that is true.
comedian who's talented.
That's true.
And the rest
but-
of the people are who the
But she
fuck?
was directing
But she
him.
did, yeah. Again, all right. So when this is done, we encourage everybody out there listening and watching to get on YouTube, look up Ralph the Movie Maker. He has a whole interview, which I want us to watch when we're done with this.
I'm literally getting
with
sweaty
the voice
from
of
this,
Alvin
like-
Flang, which real quick, as you also said, Alvin Flang was a riff in itself. He made that name up on the fly, and actually
Just the name.
just
That's
the
it.
name. He like she's like, and your name, and he's like. Alvin Flang, and just said it, and then that was the fucking thing. So hashtag Flang Gang. But we what was I gonna say? I want to wrap this up with like one other piece of information I just remembered we did not discuss either. Is the actual actor? Are these the two actors? Jana Camp and Anise Como.
Yes.
So the actor who plays Prince and the actor who plays Lisa, who you, as we all notice, have like the worst lack of chemistry on screen of any two people. After, and I thought this was fucking fake till we looked it up multiple times. After this movie, very shortly after this movie, they became a couple. They got married and both quit the business.
And they are still together to
And
this
apparently
day.
they're still together to this day.
And they refuse to acknowledge this movie ever happened.
Much like almost everybody else in this movie. Because again, in that fucking interview,
It's like trauma bonding. I
Yeah.
feel.
Yeah, it has to
like
be.
they
That's-
have to have been like, wow,
we got through this
Like,
together.
Really? Can you believe? And
No.
I think that's a great
can't
ending.
believe.
I think it's a great ending.
That's the best ending to this movie. Is the two of them
Wow.
saying like, you know what, I don't ever want to make a movie again. Hey, we got through this together. Let's just be together quietly away from the world.
And they
because
lived
if this is what the world
happily
is like, I don't want to be a part of it.
After
The end.
the end.
The end. Worst font. The end.
Okay.
Anywho, final fucking grades. Let's wrap this shit up. We could literally, I don't think anyone listening or watching understands, we could talk about this movie for 9 hours.
Yeah.
There's still so much we actually didn't get into or discuss, but that's fine. We're going to finish this up. So, final grades. Who wants to go first?
Me.
Go for it.
A+. A fucking plus. Listen, it was interesting. It kept me laughing. It was ridiculous. I've watched it 98 times and I'm still finding new things to love. It was crazy. I felt like I was watching 98 different movies at once. This was a transformative experience in a way that I did not expect. I mean, it's a movie about a dog turning into a person. Listen, my expectations were low. And the product was not the best. But I was thoroughly entertained over and over again. Nothing but great things to say. Highly recommend. A+, 10 out of 10. Thank you.
Fantastic. Sir?
I hate to agree. but I do. I'm gonna give it an A. It was so enjoyable for all the wrong reasons, but that doesn't change the fact that it was so entertaining and different and
it was
just something that really pushed my perspective on art. So yeah, I really enjoyed it for not the reasons I should have. So that's an A for me.
Yeah, and I'm just gonna triple down on all that. Yes,
Yeah.
A plus, because this is, again, it is the fucking worst movie if you look at it from any standpoint of like actually making a film. But it was so wildly enjoyable. Again, we've watched this probably in the last year. We've watched this like 9 times
At least.
It gets more absurd and hilarious every fucking time I watch it. I've said this before. It's growing. It may eclipse all other shitty movies and be possibly my favorite shitty movie of all time, because it's just so fucking dumb and hilarious. And that's kind of all I got to say about it. And a bunch of other people agree, because we didn't get to this, but again, Ralph the Movie Maker, we've mentioned a bunch of times, has talked about this movie in old video episodes he has on YouTube, where he encouraged everybody to go and give it positive ratings, which is why Rotten Tomatoes, it currently sits at a 97% audience score. And IMDb is still sitting at like a 9.2 out of 10.
Oh my God.
I encourage everyone else out there to go everywhere, rate this as high as you possibly can, write a fucking review, and if you don't have the time to write one, go read them, because the IMDb 10 out of 10 reviews are fucking magical. I recommend doing that as well. I don't think there's anything else I had about this. Guys,
there's plenty more I have about this, but that's
there's
for
plenty,
later.
but this is where we're gonna have to stop it. Otherwise, this will be like a 4-part episode. So, thank you all for listening. Thank you all for watching. D-podcast.com, Spotify and Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Circle/TV, all the Instagrams at Circle/TV, at D-podcast. Do all the things. Thank you much. Like, subscribe, listen, follow, blah de blah. Flang gang for life. Thank you. Have a lovely fucking whatever.